I want to welcome everybody to this evening's webinar. My name is Fred Razak. I'm a senior trading specialist here at CM Trading, and tonight's topic is 2019 in review and 2020 outlook. And really, it's a very momentous occasion to do this. I think this is my 5th or 6th year that I'm doing this, where I give a review not just up in the year this year, but also on the decade, as I was saying in the preface to this presentation. It's the first time that I actually am turning a decade, okay, with CM Trading here. So that's really a very exciting moment for me to actually be discussing this 2020 outlook. So without further ado, let's just jump straight into it and discuss, some of the market recap of the year of the stocks, I call it. Okay, 2019 for me was the year of the stocks. Okay, now much of you, if you haven't noticed from my accent, I'm an American. I grew up in New York for the greater part of my formative years. Between the ages of 9 to 29, I was living in the United States, working in the financial districts, educated in the universities there. And the vibe, it just is so Wall Street driven. Okay, I mean, I was living in New York, so obviously that was the focal point. And so for many years, I was trading on the Nasdaq and the New York Stock Exchange, the big board. And I'm talking about 20 years ago, 25 years ago, okay, when things were really, pre-internet age, and we had participated in the massive boom of the internet age. Okay, the high-tech age was just a tremendous market opportunity back then. And in those days, we made some really great money, and we thought, wow, okay, this is unbelievable. This has never been in history. And sure enough, it came to an end, and it got to a bubble. Okay, that bubble burst, okay, after the high-tech burst in the 2001, 2002-ish time period. And it was very quiet for about 6-7 years. And then the market started rallying again. And then it was the housing bubble that burst, okay? And that led to the massive crisis of 2008, where the markets really just tumbled. And then in the past 10 years, okay, just to recap, the markets have gradually been rebuilding themselves, okay, from the former part, from the time that Barack Obama, the president of the United States, took office, I believe, in 2008. Okay, I think he was until 2016, correct? He had taken the economy from about 9,000 to about 15,000, 16,000 on the Dow Jones, okay? And close to the end of his presidency, the market was actually selling towards the top of that range of about 16,000 on the Dow Jones. Now, between, when President Trump, okay, Donald Trump has taken office to where it is now, it went from pretty much 16 to 28, okay, which is a massive rally of 8,000 points. Now, if you look back to 2009, after the crisis, we were trading about 6,000 on that Dow Jones, okay? And the Dow Jones represents U.S. stocks, okay? And so if I was to capitulate one time period, which is systemically, okay, you hear it in my daily reviews almost on a daily basis, it's really the fact that it's been the year of the stocks. We talked about the FANG stocks, we talk about Microsoft, we talk about the banks, we talk about different sectors in the United States that have just been so strong and kind of taking currencies out of the focal point, okay, from when we were trading in the former part of the years of, let's say, 2010 to 2013, where there was a lot of activity in the currency markets. Today it's all shifted into the U.S. stock market, okay? And I'm going to highlight this by just proving a couple of points, okay, by just showing you some of the activity that's been happening over the last year, okay, compared to the previous year. Okay, so let's take some major currency pairs. The two that I go to the most is the GBP versus the USD and the Euro versus the USD. Both are very significant economies. Both are related tremendously to the dollar. The reason I didn't take the Japanese yen is because I think that that's very, it's a very unique market, the Japanese dollar, okay, the Japanese yen, excuse me. The yen the yen dollar. So it's very isolated to itself, so I didn't want to compare them to each other. The Aussie dollar I felt was just too close to the euro to compare them to, so I took the two extremities versus the US dollar over the past last year. So over the past last year, we've had about 1,100 pip range, okay, from its highs to its lows. Okay, we've been, and that's despite the fact that we had prime ministers being elected, I think almost twice. That's besides the fact that they had a Brexit vote. So we've been in a tight range. 1,100 points is just a really tight range. To give you a perspective of it, when they voted Brexit, the market traded that day in a 1,300 range, okay? Compared to 2018, we were in an 1,800 point range, okay, or pip range, okay? So comparatively, we've been in a much tighter range this past year, okay, in the GBP versus the USD, okay, vis-a-vis where we were in 2018. Now we see that it's the same story with the euro. And these are about, close to figures that I've come up to. I rounded them up, obviously. We've been in a 550 pip range in 2019, where in 2018, we're in a 13 pip range, okay? So you can see that the ranges are also coming much closer to each other, much harder to make money in a less volatile market, which we see right now, okay? So there has been character, there has been trading, okay, but there hasn't been as many opportunities in the currency markets as we'll see that have been in some of the indices and some of the stock markets that we've seen, okay? So this is really important to really highlight the fact that to take stock to see where we're holding right now compared to where we were holding the previous year and what we can anticipate moving into the next year since we've been in this rotation. Now, the next that I'd like to really jump into is the indices. Now, you know that my favorite index is the Dow Jones. It's the largest index in the world. It trades at right now 28,500-ish level, okay? And in 2019, we traded between this 28,538-ish level to 21,681. If you guys remember, we kind of like fell off the bed last year. Okay, Christmas Eve, we traded all the way down to 21,500-ish range. Okay, so we were in about a 5,800 point range for 2019. Okay, it's not fair to show you these figures. I really should have compared it to 2000, let's say 13, where we're in probably in a 1,000 point range. Okay, but in comparatively to 2018, which was a very volatile year. Okay, the high was about 26,700-ish level. Okay, and the low was 21,400-ish level, and we were in a 5,300 range. So a lot more volatility in the Dow Jones this past year than we did in the previous year, giving us a lot more opportunities. Okay, this is the point that I'm trying to drive at, is that you want to focus on where the markets are giving you the opportunities. Okay, but before we jump into the stocks, okay, which would represent some of these Dow components that are making the Dow Jones just, be so volatile, let's just jump to commodities for just a brief moment. Okay, so I'm not going to do all the commodities. Oil's been pretty flat the past couple of years, so I really don't think that it's a focus point. Okay, whereas gold has been. Okay, if we look at 2018, let's start with the backwards. 2018, we traded of a high of 1360 and a low of 1180, giving us a range of $180. In 2019, this previous year, we were trading as low as 1275, as on a high as 1546, giving us much more volatility this year to $271. Okay, those of you that have been watching my daily review will know that last year I mentioned it several times. I actually mentioned the move that happened yesterday or the previous day, okay, where we broke above, okay, and that ascending wedge formation. It's been trading in character, okay? The gold hasn't been massive trader, okay? If there were things that I were going to focus on, I would first focus on stocks, indices, commodities, and maybe last somewhere, currencies, okay? They're not my focal point right now. But the point is just to show you that the shakers and movers of 2018, 2019, there's a certain pattern, okay, that is happening right now. Now, jumping into stocks, okay, this is really going to be tremendous for you to understand. Now, I should have done it also in a relative sense where I would have done percentages, okay, comparatively to each other, which would be much more meaningful for you, okay, because when you're saying $99 or 100 pips or 200 pips, we're not talking the same language, okay, because it's all, particular to the specific symbol that we're trading, okay, but we should have also put in, on my default, I should have put in also percentages so that you could see the percentages here, okay. Now, JP Morgan, okay, you guys know that I've been talking about it almost on a daily basis on the daily review. I say new highs, new highs, new highs, new highs. It's been going from 2018, from 118 to $93. That was the trading range between that year of a range of $25. Okay, from 2019, $137. We're at its highs, all-time highs just the other day, from $99 being the low. $38 range. Okay, so if you look at that, that's almost, okay, 10, 20, 30, 40, that's almost 40% return on your money on 2019 itself. That's unprecedented. When do you get 40% return on your money? Okay, looking at Apple, same story. 2018, we traded between $147 to $225. And in 2019, we did better, 283 to 147. Now, I want to add some salt to your wound and tell you, if you would look at Apple the past 10 years, I'd be hiding the knives away from you, okay? It's just been a tremendous animal, okay, for the past 10 years. It probably went from like $10 to what it is today of $283. Okay, tremendous rally. So comparatively, it went up $136 this past year. It's been in a range of $136 compared to $125. Massive range. Now, Microsoft has been always the quiet stock. Okay, if you look at it from the time of 2002 to 2017, it hasn't moved much. Okay, it moved, but it hasn't moved that much. In this past year, okay, 2019, $157 to $99 range of $58. 2018, only a $30 range. Lastly, Google, $336 range in 2019 compared to 2018 of $280 range. Okay, so 2 points right here, okay? Number one, the more expensive stocks have much more volatility. So you see that with the Google, you see that with the Apple, okay, much larger numbers comparative to Microsoft and JP Morgan, albeit that Apple and Google are part of the FANG stock family, okay, the rest of the market, it's systemic. This is not a situation where we're going to have a bubble, okay, on one specific area of the market. In 2001, when the market crashed, okay, it was a high-tech bubble. It was an internet bubble. It was companies that should not have been and not have gone public, okay, have been trading on deviations that there should not have been at, okay, on multiples that they should not be close to, okay. It was being hyped up by the markets. It's the internet. I could buy a car through the internet. I could, speak to my friend through the internet. Everybody was just absorbing it. Okay, I'm sure you guys felt that about 10, 15 years ago in South Africa, where it first became something very prevalent, became very known to use internet. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, okay, the other point that I wanted to stress here is not just that, in those days it was, a particular industry like it was in 2008 and 2001, where it was the internet bubble. Today it's systemic. It's every industry is just bouncing up, okay? If you look across the board, the whole thing is going up, okay? Very important aspects to take in when you're reviewing 2019. So, preparation for today leads to success tomorrow. Okay, very simple concept. All right, you got to be informed. You got to be ready for what comes to you next year. Okay, now these are special events that I actually highlighted, excuse me, for the next coming year. Okay, some very important effects. Number one, in January 31st, I believe it is, that's the date, we have Brexit, which will finally be brought to justice, okay, and ending this almost 4-year saga, okay, of the currency of the GBP getting beaten up like it has. Still, there will be some, despite the optimism, there still be some fog in the sky, okay, that will not be so clear how the UK market is going to be affected in the long term by this Brexit, whether it's a soft Brexit, whether it's a hard Brexit, whatever it's going to be, okay, it's going to give us some volatility, okay? So we may see some specific volatility related to the GBP versus the USD. In January, the US also has, it's going to have a trade something resolution with China. Okay, so US is having a trade war with almost everybody, specifically with China, okay, which is not the best situation to be in right now. The Chinese don't want it, the Americans don't want it. There's a lot of things happening behind the curtain that we don't see, okay, this thing called 5G, okay, which is a very high-end technology that is now being used in China. If it comes to the United States, the Chinese people will have access to it. It's not going to be a good thing. Okay, it's pretty much like Big Brother watching you. Okay, March is earning seasons for stocks. Okay, very important time period to actually be trading the markets. Usually it's March or end of February that we get a lot of volatility in the Dow Jones. USMCA, which is a new trade agreement between United States, Canada, and Mexico, which was the new NAFTA, okay, which is a trade agreement. A lot of people are looking at it, especially in the United States, to see if it does get through, then it's going to, the markets, as they say, are just going to explode to 30,000. It could be, okay? I'm not a prophet yet, but it could be. But these are the type of things that you got to know that are coming. Now, we're going to have a bunch of elections this coming year. Okay, there's going to be the primaries, voting for a Democratic candidate to go up against the Donald Trump. Okay, so there's going to be elections in November. Okay, it's going to add volatility to the market. It always does. Going into an election year, markets usually don't do well. They usually lag, which will be the case, okay, because until he's either going to be solidified to be the next president or he's not going to be solidified to be the next president, you know, the markets are still going to be at question. The markets like his presidency. It's not a question, okay? But the question is that whoever is going to take or challenge him or whoever is going to come in place of him is going to add a lot of effect in which way the direction of the markets are going to go next year, for sure. Okay, so you do want to know, you want to have your ears perked up exactly to know what to do for next year. Okay, you got to know the news that's coming up, especially if we have monetary policies. That's another one that we should events to follow for 2020. And this is how you become prepared for next year. Now, what else can you do to become prepared for next year? You go and you do your research of what you did the previous year. Okay, you got to take stock of your trading. Just take the time out this week. If you get extra time off this week from work, take the time off this week to really just refocus yourself back into looking in your trades, analyzing what you did right, going over your personal journals, going over your trading your trading logs, your trading goals, your trading plan, okay, which consists of your edge, some of the things that you saw during the day, what you wrote down. Go over, review it, okay, because that's going to help you for next year, okay? It's only going to make you into a better trader. Now's the time to really do it. You have extra time on your hands. Now's the real time to really do that extra work of really just going over your trades and understanding what you were thinking at the time when you thought to buy that trade or sell that trade. Look at all your trades. Analyze them. Go one by one. See what your best trade was. Compare it to your worst trade. What did you need to do? What was the thing you needed to look into? Okay, what did you see when you made your best trade? What were you thinking when you made your best trade? What were you thinking when you made your worst trade? What changed? Okay, what did you initially see and why did you change your mind about it? Okay, why did you let it hurt yourself so much? Okay, these are questions you need to engage yourself to really give yourself some answers and to really give yourself that development and self-awareness so you can become a better trader. Do a SWOT analysis. Okay, this stuff I love to do. Okay, this is just an example of some of the stuff that I came up with. SWOT analysis pretty much is a strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. It's very well known in the marketing business world. Okay, you could look this up. This is not mine. Okay, but the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats that you see here that is filled out, I added them in there. Okay, some of them are mine, some of them are just, some things that I thought you guys, would at least give you the basis with a guideline of what to use as your strengths. Make a list of your strengths. Are you disciplined? Are you patient? For me, I'm a good tape reader. I'm motivated. I'm committed to the process. I'm ambitious. Okay, those are my strengths. Those are things that I'm going to bring into my next year. What are my weaknesses? I'm horrible at cutting losses. Wow, I can't cut losses for my life. Okay, if that's the case, lack of conviction. I get into a trade, I don't really feel that I knew what I'm doing. I get out of it, and then it does exactly what I thought it was going to do, and I lost out. And I jumped into it later because I was so mad that I was right, and then I lost money. I'm not aggressive enough. Okay, that could be a weakness. I'm fearful. Fear of success, fear of failure. Understand some of the psychological undertones that are holding you back in success and failing. Okay? Opportunities. Well, I get more time to trade because my kids are out in university now. Okay? Opportunities, the Dow Jones. Right now I'm looking at the Dow Jones, the stocks, the commodities, the gold. I have extra cash. That's a great opportunity right now. Some of my work, is insecure right now. Okay, that's potentially a threat. That might limit my ability to trade. My time limitations. My kids are home more now. Okay, there are certain risks that may come up this year. Okay, some emotional stuff. This was just given as a guideline. What you should really do is just personalize it and make it real for yourself. If it's, you're taking care of your older grandmother, okay, that's something that's a threat. That's a challenge that you're going to have to face during the year. All right, really do a SWOT analysis if you're trading, and you could take this and personalize this. This is just a guideline, okay? These are some of the things that I came up with. Like I said, you got to set your goals for 2020. Okay, we all got to set our goals for 2020. We got to make them concrete, and we got to come up with a timeline. Okay, 2 things. Okay, this I got from Arnold Schwarzenegger, because I always set up goals, but I was never successful at them. And I'll tell you, Google Arnold. He's got a really great motivational speech that he gives, and he discusses 2 things. You set goals and you set a time frame. Okay, really important to do both. Okay, set goals and a time frame. I had certain goals that I wanted to conquer this past year, and I look at my chart. I've crossed out most of them. Some of them I still have. I wasn't successful at finishing them. Going into 2020, I will be successful at finishing them. Okay, I want to accomplish. I want to come up with a certain line of goals. Now you got to list them. My daughter was putting out a plan for tomorrow. We're having family coming over. We're having a holiday season. And the house needs to come out really well. Okay, the house needs to be tidied up. So my daughter, very responsibly, she made a list. The boys do this. The girls do this. Parents do this. Everybody knows their job tomorrow morning. I'll let you know next week how it comes out. But everybody has their job, okay? Everybody has a goal tomorrow. It's itemized. It's listed. It's committed. It's on a piece of paper. You're committed to it. You got to follow through on those goals, okay? Whatever those personal goals are, okay? In trading, it's not, I want to make $1 million this year. It doesn't work like that, okay? You got to give yourself realistic goals that you can actually make some sort of road plan in achieving those goals. Okay, I want 50 people at every webinar. I want 100 people and then my next webinar. Okay, how am I going to do that? How am I going to accomplish that? Okay, that's a very, very important element for us to learn how to accomplish those things. Now, the next thing is everybody thinks that the markets is just some sort of look at my crystal ball and let me see what happens next year and let me try to figure it out. Well, I'll tell you guys, it doesn't work like that. It works with doing some of the strategies I gave tonight. You got to make yourself a preparation list of what you need to do for the next year to become a better trader. For some, it's going to be to hit the books, to spend more time educating yourself about trading. For others, it's going to be more screen time. For others, it's going to be from going from a 0.01 lot to trading a 0.2 lot. Okay, bounce it up a little bit. For one, it's going to be every time I'm wrong, I get out no matter what. Okay, I cut my losses at 1%. Okay, I don't care. I'm going to do it. I'm going to actually learn to discipline myself so that I can trust myself in my trading. It's not what this picture is. Trading is not what this picture is. It's not looking at a crystal ball and trying to figure out what's going to happen next. It's okay. No voodoo, boodoo, any stuff here. Okay. This means that you're committed. This means that you got yourself ready. You get yourself started and you run. Okay. This guy is an athlete. He worked his tail off to be where he is. Okay. Very, very important to understand this. Nobody gets to where they are by just luck. Okay, if you're an accomplished person in this world, I don't care if you're if you're the most criminalized politician, okay, even the most criminalized politician has worked his butt off to get to where he is. And so for that, he deserves and he earns that respect for himself. Now, he might be a criminal, he might be immoral, he might be the worst person in the face of the earth, but he got there. Okay, and he didn't get there by chance. He fought something to get where he is. Now, he might have not done it real, might not have done it faithfully, honestly, okay, all that stuff, but he did it. He got to where he wanted to get to. He accomplished, okay, and this athlete in front of us accomplished. This guy prepared himself. He mentally prepared himself, emotionally prepared himself, physically prepared himself. And that's what you got to do as a trader. Okay, it's very comparison to being an athlete. You got to really be on ball. You got to be focused. You got to be ready. And this guy has earned the right. So when he runs to that finish line, this guy has earned himself the right to win that race. Okay, and you got to earn yourself the right to beat the market. And the way you do that is by making the preparations that you do. Thank you. So that I'll take the any questions that you guys have now, I'll take them now. All right, in front of us we have some of the graphs that I was looking at today in order to work on. But any of the questions that you have, we could take some questions now. Any questions, guys? About this evening, about trading? Any questions? Dow hitting all-time high right here. 28,564. So the famous question I always get is, Fred, teach us about like when the Dow makes a correction and the Dow is going to tank. One trading specialist here at CM Trading is always telling me, Fred, when are you giving a webinar about, when the Dow tanks, when the Dow actually sells so much? And I said, I'm not doing it. And the reason I'm not doing it is because it keeps on going higher. Okay, there's no reason for me to do it. Until I get confirmation that it's going lower, I'm not going to doing it. If it went to 28,563, what's to stop it from going to 30,563? or 31,563. Look at this massive market. Okay, this is when Obama was president, right back here. Okay, just to give you guys some perspective. All right, this was when Trump was voted into office, right here. We were at 18,000, excuse me. Look at where we are right now, 28,000. That's 10,000 points in less than 4 years. Now you want to compare that to Obama's 10 years? You want to compare it to Obama and Bush's 10, and that's what? That's 16 years. That's crazy. Let's compare it. It only takes me to 2008. So 2008, we were at 12,000 selling off to 6,800. Okay. Obama became president right about here. 2009. And he left his office, it was right about here. And that was 8 years. This is Trump's. And that is 4 years. Okay? Not even 3.5. I don't understand what you're saying. Comparison is not reason. Comparatively, it was a big jump, a much bigger jump, right? We went from 6,800, which was a overselling, okay, tremendous overselling here, to about 18,000. So that's about 12,000 points in 8 years. And here we went from 18,000 to 28,000 of 10,000 points in 4 years. Now, albeit that these are the extremities, right? How do you calculate percentages if the market falls 10%? So, for example, all right, so do 10% on your calculator. Let's take my handy dandy calculator. Now you have it in front of you, right? So right now the market is 28,560, let's say. Okay, that's the market right now. So now I want to show you how do I get 10% of that. So I'll multiply. I can do it one of two ways. I'll multiply it by 0.10, and that gives me 2,856. Okay, so multiply it by 0.10, which gives you 10%. Okay, that's very simple. So if the market was to fall now 10%, it would fall down 28.56 from 28.563. So it would fall down about to 20 from 28,000. Let's do minus 28,560. So it would be 25,700. Okay, if there was a 10% correction in the Dow Jones, it would be guys, I'm not taking any swipe at Barack Obama versus Trump. Okay, that's not the point of this. All right, that was not the point of comparing the presidents, comparing the markets. Okay, you mean to say that Obama period was 10,000 times more challenging than Trump's time? I'm not questioning what was the more challenging time, what less than challenging time. I'm just comparing basically the structure of the economy. Okay, it's not all about the president. I would say it's a 60% of the market is about the president, okay? And then the 40%, I would say, has nothing to do with the president, okay? It happens to be that I would say that their monetary policies were very different from each other, okay? But it's not just about the president, okay? So please don't take it offensively if I compared, Obama's term versus Trump's term, okay? Because if you compare Obama's term to Bush's term, okay, who was the previous president, okay, Obama was 10,000 times better than, the previous president, okay? Not even a question. Who led us into the credit crisis that we got into in 2008, okay? He led us to this point, okay? Bush led us to this craziness right here. So just take that into... Okay, how does one calculate risk versus reward when doing risk management? Great question. An example would be great. All right, so it depends on your tolerance, all right? I'm gonna just use a part of my screen just to show you, all right? So let's say you have let's say you have $1,000 in your account. So my question to you is, what's your target? So your target per day should be about maybe $5, okay, to make per day. You're saying to me, Fred, that's nothing. You're right, $5 per day is nothing. But if you multiply it by 30, okay, or 22 days of the month, excuse me, all right, you get $100. $100 gives you a 10% return on your money. Okay, if this was done on a daily basis, that's huge. That's really huge. But the point I'm trying to bring out here, all right, the point I'm trying to bring out here is that if you're looking at risk versus reward, so this is your goal on a daily basis, okay? Your risk ratio should always be 2 to 1. So if you're looking to make this on a daily basis, you should be only allowing yourself to lose half of that, which would be in this case $2.50. Okay. So on each trade per day, okay, you wouldn't allow yourself to lose more than $2.50. All right. That's a simple analysis, risk versus reward. So this is that's the $1 million question, William. Do I think that there'll be a correction soon? I don't know. I mean, based on what's going on, no. I mean, will the market sell off? Yes, the market will at some point sell off. Okay, but I'm not going to be, yours truly is not going to be the arrogant person who's going to say, okay, it's going to sell off at this point. Okay, it's got to give me a confirmation, and I haven't gotten it yet. I need something to change character. Okay, but the stocks are all strong. Look at this. JP Morgan, all-time highs, 138, made a new high today. Okay, and we're right between Christmas and New Year's. What is it trading for? There we go. Google, all-time highs. And they're not related to each other. These are different industries. These are completely different companies doing completely different things. Microsoft, all-time highs, new highs, 158. I've never seen like this. You could be a monkey and make money in this type of markets. I mean, it's like buy anything and it'll go up. I've never seen such a thing like this in my life. I tell you guys, honestly, I've never seen such a thing in my lifetime where the entire market has gone up systemically like this. Never. Okay, this is all-time trading. This is trading with like 1980s, 1990s, okay, which is before my time. I came into the scene 1997, 98, okay? And I've seen sectors go up, okay? Internet related high tech companies, yes, I've seen sectors go up, but not everything, okay? Everything is going up, okay? So, and not to take swipe on, any canines out there, okay, or animals or whatever, like it's a famous joke on Wall Street, take a monkey to throw a dart at the wall and you have just as much chances of making, predictions in the market, right? That's the famous, that's why I used that particular example, but it's like, I've never seen such a thing like this. It's systemic. Look, Intel, all-time highs. Okay, these are not same companies. Facebook, close to all-time highs. Apple, it's through the roof. Look at this. This is insane. Look at a 10-year period of Apple, okay? Just look at a 10-year period. This is absolutely insane. You guys don't remember trading this. I do, okay? I remember when it was here. Let me highlight this. I remember when it was here. And you know what this is? Negative. Right here is negative. It almost went out of business right here. Apple almost went out of business. Do you guys know that? Apple almost went out of business right here. It was Ross Perot, okay, which was a Donald Trump of the 1990s, okay? He was a very wealthy man who made money in also a high-tech company in the 1990s, okay? His name was Ross Perot. I think he passed away this past year. A very decent man, actually, and some really great ideas, but he was just a really quirky guy from Texas. And he pumped money into Apple right here, okay? He saved it from going belly up. Steve Jobs came back to the company. It was a whole thing, all right? If you look at history of Apple, it's tremendous. It went from $1 into $288. Let me put it this way, okay? If you put $10,000, okay, in 2002, okay, in Apple, today you'd have $2.8 million. That's crazy. I mean, some of you are too young to remember this, but I was there. That's the irony of this. So to answer your question, yes, I do believe there will be a correction. The question is when, okay? It's just a matter of when. And it will happen this year. There's going to be a lot of volatility, okay? That's why I said, you got to look into what's happening this year, okay? There's lots of stuff coming up. There's the elections. There's Brexit. There's the trade war. Okay, there's the impeachment, okay, which is a circus. What should a newcomer in trading should focus on? Stocks, commodities, currencies. So next month, I'm going to be giving a full Make Me a Trader program. It's going to be a 6-part program. I hope you can make it because that would really add value to your trading career, okay, because that is where it's at, okay. I go through all this stuff of how to get into trading and how to start trading, and I go through the different concepts and I go through the different ideas, okay. So I hope you can make it and we could discuss it there. Any further questions? It's exciting times to be trading in, I'll tell you this much. All right. I wouldn't say just focus on stocks or commodities or currencies. I would say focus on one or two currencies, one commodity really. I would leave oil aside right now. Focus on 3 or 4 stocks, an index. Okay. You could focus on something that's closer to your heart, like the JSC. Absolutely. But you need to know their character before you start trading them. Can't just jump into it. Any further questions, everybody? Any further questions? All right. If there are no further questions, I'll end this evening's with a positive note, with the Apple hitting $288 a share. Not to say that there won't be a correction this year. It's just been a tremendous ride. A lot of volatility, just to recap. And I expect there to be continued volatility, mostly in the equity markets coming into 2020. I expect that to continue. Okay, it may not go up from 288 to 390 till next year, okay, which if we look at the pattern, all right, would put us somewhere above that, right? Okay, because we went up 133, then 120 points the previous year. Do I see the DAX making a correction going into next year? It could be. I'm not so connected with the DAX. Europe is actually going through a cycle itself right now. This whole thing with Brexit has to go over. But generally looking, the DAX is following the Dow pretty much, okay? It hasn't really given up. Can I give you a brief explanation on the market structure circle analysis? I don't know what circle analysis is, to tell you the truth. I don't know what that means. Okay, there's always people ask me questions after I kind of wrap it up, but I'm going to give you one more chance to ask me a question before we wrap it up. But it's definitely exciting times to be trading. All right, this is what we did, right? This is what I covered, over the past couple of days. Oh, oil looks like it's perking up. All right, then. So I want to thank everybody for making it out this evening. I want to wish everybody a beautiful weekend and a happy New Year's and a healthy, happy surmise to this year. And God bless everybody. Thank you again. I hope this presentation was both educational, a little bit entertaining, and adds value to your trading. I want to say thank you again and have a good night.